Kim Kardashian. Yes, that Kim Kardashian helped save a women's national team from Afghanistan after the Taliban retook the country in 2021. And if you're like me, wondering how in the world this could actually be possible, Kim Kardashian being included in this story is just one part of what feels like all these people walk in the bar kind of joke that includes a rabbi from New York, Leeds United, a former national team captain, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Every single one of those things is going to be involved in this story, which fortunately does have a happy ending. And it starts with the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, which, if you don't know, was announced in April of 2021 that the United States would be out by September of that year. And the Taliban, which had been fermenting on the fringes of Afghanistan, slowly began to cement itself as the force that was going to come to take over. And by August of 2021, Kabul, which is the capital of Afghanistan, had fallen, and the United States forces were just hanging onto the airfield that continue to evacuate the last pieces of personnel. This result, obviously, from April to August, is a very abrupt change in power in Kabul and in Afghanistan in general. One that, due to the Taliban's views on things like, I don't know, women playing sports, meant that the women's national teams in particular needed to be rather hasty if they were going to be able to get out of the country. And this is where we meet our first character, the former captain and founder of the Afghanistan women's national team. That would be Khalid Popal. Khalid Popal founded the national team and captained it from 2007, and then actually left the country in 2011 because of death threats and actually being assaulted because people did not want women playing the sport before the Taliban took over. And as Kabul was falling and Afghanistan was turning over to the hands of the Taliban, the final vestiges of the government military were defeated mid-September, by the way. Popal was busy orchestrating the evacuation of all various elements of the women's national team. For example, the senior women's national team was able to escape to Australia. Parts of the youth women's national team setup were able to escape to Portugal in an operation called Operation Soccer Balls. But Popal adopted this role of trying to get everybody out, and part of that was part of the youth national team set up the developmental team. The issue is that most of the families that these players came from were poor, but she was able to orchestrate them getting to Pakistan, which in itself was not an easy thing for her to do. She lauded the bravery of the women that were actually on the team for being able to pull it off in the first place, saying going through borders, getting out of your home, knowing a great danger is waiting for you. You may get shot, but you still take the risk. As a young woman, the age 15, 16, 19, 20 years old, taking that risk, going out knowing that you might be shot trying to escape. And this was a very explosive change of power that they had to escape. She told the Associated Press many of those families left their houses when the Taliban took over. Their houses were burned down. Some of their family members were killed or taken by the Taliban, so the danger and the stress was very high. That's why it was very important to move fast to get them outside of Afghanistan. And this is where we meet our second character, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was the Prime Minister at the time, Imran Khan, who helped to get these girls into the country and provided them with temporary visas for them to try and find a way to the West out of Pakistan. One of the players in the team, a young girl named Medea, who we're using first names only for reasons we'll get into later in the video, said that it was a very sad time when they left, but it was also very nerve-wracking. She said the girls did not know what would happen and which country would be their future home, and if the visas expired in Pakistan, there'd be nothing that would allow them to stay there, and they would actually have to go back to Afghanistan. So this was a developing crisis by October of 2021. But this is where Popal, former national team captain Popal, kicked into gear as being a humanitarian saint. She was able to use her connections to get all of the players and their families that were able to make the trip. This is about 130 people, visas to the UK, faced now with a final problem of they can't get from Pakistan to the UK to make good on those visas. So Popal started to go through her Rolodex of contacts that might be available to help out this team that now had visas but was still stuck in Pakistan. She reached out to a group called the Sadek Association, which is a New York-based group that's normally involved in fighting for criminal reform, but they also address humanitarian issues and been involved in other evacuations from Afghanistan, just trying to be good Samaritans. She got in touch with the president of the group, Rabbi Moshe Margardaran, which I am absolutely sure I did not say right. This is how you say it.
Moshe Margareten.
And it was the point that they reached out to this New York-based rabbi, as we check off another character in our story, that the team faced the terrible and dangerous risk of being sent back to Afghanistan if we didn't get them out of the country very soon. But the Afghanistan women's developmental team was in luck, because while the Sadek Association did not have the resources to get the team out of Pakistan, they knew someone who might. Kim Kardashian. You see, Kim Kardashian had actually worked with the Tzedek Association before on criminal justice reform campaigns. So the good rabbi reached out to Kim Kardashian, asking if she knew anybody in the aviation space with the resources that might be able to pull off a flight from Pakistan to the UK. And then maybe an hour later, he got a text message that Kim wanted to fund the entire flight. So Kim Kardashian footed the bill for a chartered flight from Pakistan to the UK for every member of the Afghanistan women's developmental national team and their families, 130 odd people, to the UK from Pakistan. After 2 months in limbo, in Pakistani limbo, the team was finally safe in the UK. And they've actually kept playing. Leeds United, who, last character in this story, actually offered to provide resources and training for the team. The team played against International Surrey Football in a friendly that you actually could have gone and watched. Amnesty International even organized a friendly against the Parliamentary Women's team. But it hasn't all been a rosy ride for the Afghanistan women's development team in the UK, because not all of their family got out. Not only were some killed or captured by the Taliban, some are still in Afghanistan. For example, Najma, who plays on the team, her sister is still in Afghanistan, even though her and her parents were able to get out. She said she wished me the best, and I'm wishing to see her again. That's my biggest wish for me and for my parents. She speaks regularly on the phone with her sister, but says she does not know if they will ever see each other again, because as most of the members in the team talk about, they're likely never going to go to Afghanistan again. But even more tragically, their struggle in the UK has not just been because of what was left behind in Afghanistan. There's actually the reason that we're not mentioning the last names of the players, and the news stories don't mention the last names of the players, because their full names and locations are all redacted to keep them safe from protests. Now, while even Kim Kardashian realized it was a good idea to get these girls as far away from Afghanistan and into a safe place as she could, and everybody else involved in this story could, Popal, who is the captain, remember, from the beginning of the Afghanistan women's national team, she gave the players a message when they got to the UK. She said, "You're safe, but there are things I need to raise awareness about. You will face a group of people that will hate you. They will try everything possible to be against you coming to their country. You will maybe face some kind of words like harassment in the street, or someone will call you, 'You're a refugee, get out of our country, why are you here?'" Popal added, "These young women have been through a lot. All they want is safety, but also to contribute positively to the society and to give to the communities that have provided a home for them." But in spite of the hatred, the need to conceal their identity and their location, the team is still very thankful for being able to do what they always wanted to do, what they feel they were born to do. The UK is the best country. We are safe, we are free to play football, we can do everything. That was from Medea, who we met earlier. And that was all possible because of Leeds United, a rabbi from New York, Khalida Popal, a former national team captain, and of course, Kim Kardashian, which might all just be the weirdest sentence I've ever said. If you enjoyed the research that went into this video, please do hit the subscribe button, and after that, you don't have to move another muscle. You can just keep on binging, because we've got another video for you about a national team that actually just disappeared. Kind of like my hair. We were raising money. You guys on Twitch voted for this, so now I'm bald. But we raised the money, so, and I can feel the air on my head.